which medicine, which amount, and so that this treatment can be completed and the child is better. In case there is need for assistance, we ensure that when we take our children back to school, we involve the teachers, we involve the matrons, we involve the school nurse or all the caretakers that can help us, so that they ensure that this medicine is used properly and our child can become or get better. And the other thing that is critical these days is to ensure that we do some observations as parents to ensure that we look at our children critically and see the teeth are okay, the eyes are okay, the skin is okay, the ears are fine, they are not broken anywhere, they don't have any injuries, so that as a lay person you should be able to make an observation that my child is okay. But in case there is need for further investigations, we need to do medical checkups. I think they are very critical for especially new entrants in schools, but it would be nice to every beginning of year to do a medical checkup of your child to ensure that they are in good working conditions, the organs are okay, the pressures are okay, the eyes, the children need to do for the eye tests, they need to go for dental checkup, we need to check their hearing capacity. Some children don't have challenges with hearing, but some parents don't even know. Some children have mental challenges. Mental retardation. We have a lot of mental challenges, and some parents are still in denial. So we need to do those.
They are not even aware, some of them.
Yes, because sometimes you're not medically able to make those observations. But if you took your child to hospital, they should be able to tell you that your child is probably autistic, or they have Downism, or they have a number of children have a number of invisible or not so easy to see challenges, and they need to be helped very fast. So we need to do medical visits, and we have a thorough checkup so that our doctors can be, they tell us that the child is good to go, and they can be able to learn very well.
Right there, Hajat Zaitun. I've ever seen a child who used to repeat classes on each and every year. He was repeating classes, and it went on for a number of years, not until this child was taken to hospital, only to realize that he had some hearing problems. So they even gave him those hearing aids. Now he's very okay. So it took them like over 10 years without realizing that the child has some problems. So it goes even back to parents looking at the performance of your children before you jump onto conclusions. This school doesn't know how to teach, you beat the children. Have you ever taken time to check this child and see whether the child doesn't have any problem as regards to what Hajat has been talking about? Hajat, in like 6 minutes before we go into the break, you talked about medical checkup.
Yes.
I've seen parents bribing for these checkups. He gets that list that he's given, the form. He takes it to someone, maybe in a clinic, and tells a doctor, I'm giving you 5,000, help me fill this form. You sign, and then they take them back to school. So it means parents have gone that far. It means they don't prioritize maybe their health or what. So what message do you have to such parents who don't think that this thing is even important?
It's very sad, actually, sometimes very funny, that Africans don't want to know their health status.
By the way.
I have talked because on another side of me, I'm doing a business in health, and many adults, when you tell them that they need to check themselves and find out what is okay in their body and what is not okay, if there are any kind of ailments that are starting, or if there is any disorder that is starting or that is in a critical condition, they don't want to. Someone is telling you that, if I found out that I'm HIV positive, if I find out that cancer is coming, I
rather live with it without knowing, rather than knowing.
Yet sometimes it is better to know your status so that you can be able to do what is necessary to ensure that you curb certain diseases. Some of them are just starting. For example, cancers can be able to be reversed when we get
when
them
it is still early.
Stage. Pressure can be reversed. A tooth has to be filled or it has to be removed. The eyes have to be checked. If we need reading glasses, we get them. If we have eye defects, we get those the lenses, so that we do not, because if the body is not helped, it is going to continue to be damaged. All right. So many, even before we talk about the children, many the parents who are doing that are the ones who don't want to even do their personal medical checkup. So when we look in that kind of scenario, we pity the doctor or the medical assistant
who is doing that
for 5,000 or even 100,000, because you are even doing, you might even be killing somebody, because someone could be having a challenge that can be easily arrested, and then someone goes to school and then they collapse and they even die. So it is not we don't want to even listen to. It's something that we discourage and we don't even want to hear. Please go and check your children. Check yourselves, parents. You need to check yourself so that you know the life you have. You need to know whether you are going to be healthy for your children, because your parents need you when you're healthy. You probably are getting a disease that could be treated and gotten rid of. You
if
are
detected earlier.
So you're keeping yourself in a situation whereby you're going to get a stroke and you're going to be an invalid parent, a parent who cannot do much for their children, a parent who is going to become a garbage or baggage for their children. Yet this situation could be easily reversed or even stopped. So medical checkups are very advised actually in personal growth or in coaching. It's one of the things we are telling every intellectual, any intelligent person, or a person who has self-love, every beginning of year.
Do it for yourself.
I don't know if Janet, you've already done yours, but it's very, very important to know how the state of your heart. You need to know the state of your
full body
kidney.
checkup.
You need to know the state of your liver. You need to, because we are having so many parents getting so many failures, kidney failures, strokes, liver challenges. People are getting. Yet these things started slowly. At very small levels.
It goes on progressing small by small.
They kill you or they make you an invalid parent. So medical checkup is not a bad thing. Actually, it is a gift that someone gives to their children or to give
to themselves.
So you need to know if your child is sick. You need to know if your child is healthy. You need to know if your child needs help. Otherwise, if we don't, it is very, very dangerous and it will not do us good.
Thanks so much for that insight and clarification, Hajat Zaitun. Dear parents, as she said, things can go on progressing. For example, the tooth. You can start with a minor hole in the tooth. By the time maybe you go when it's early, they can refill it, they can fill it. But when you go beyond that, they will tell you it has advanced to root canal.
Which is
when you
expensive.
go beyond that, they will tell you to extract it, and yet you have to replace it very expensively. So parents, look at those children, check their teeth, because you find some children, the tooth is not shaking, but he has some other teeth already growing, coming
under the tooth.
So check your children in all aspects when it comes to health.
Actually, the other thing that parents need to know, children, when it comes to health, they have very, very high chances of becoming better. In case there is any disease that is coming, children have a very, very responsive because they are still young. Their bodies are still young. So any ailment that we shall find can be easily treated. It can be easily treated because the body is still young, it is still growing, and it can easily respond. So the earlier, in case there is anything that we shall find, the earlier we find out that there is a problem with this child, the better for this child, and the cheaper it is for us as parents.
Thanks so much, Hajat Zaitun. Well, we shall go into a short break and then come back with our topic and discussion.
Eno, yes, Salam TV.
Let's live it up and party and have cracking good fun. When it comes to entertainment, DSTV's number one.
Is everybody ready to go, go, go?
We've got the zaniest characters to transport you away. The party is cracking, so why not come play? You're gonna love it. We've got so many channels and a ton of new shows, like Disney and Nickelodeon, where anything goes. So live it up with DSTV. We bring the fun. You know we're number one.
I'm one of the scientists now doing research on plastic technology recycling.
where we can be able to produce other products from plastic waste. For example, we are trying to develop a plastic tile with sand plastic tile, that it is unbreakable, it can be shifted from one roof to another. So this is a project we are working on. It's our initiative as Kazire Group of trying to reduce waste from the environment. Brothers and sisters, Taso Butonde for a better Uganda.
This message is brought to you by National Environment Management Authority, Kampala Capital City Authority, Vivo Energy, Airco, Pepsi, Stanbic Bank and NBS TV.
Okulinyisa omutindo gwa Afromobile. Eno yengeri joyinza okuzza obujja omutindo gwa Afromobile yo. Funa app ya Afromobile okuva ku mukutu gwa Google Store oba App Store oba ku mutimbagano gwa www.afromobile.com. Londako forgotten password. Tekamu account yo eya Afromobile ozebujja pin code yo. Ojja kufuna obubaka ku email yo okuli ne code empya. Bw'oteekamu code eyo olwo pin yo empya ekkirizibwe. Afromobile, emboozi za Africa eza namaddala.
Step up with DSTV and we'll show up by giving you more incredible entertainment.
Well, that's it for me.
Upgrade your subscription between the 13th of January and the 31st of March and get an even higher package for a whole month on us.
What a day he's having!
There's nothing better than putting a little bit in but getting a lot out.
The brothers-in-law just got to town.
Relax, everybody. I'm here.
I've heard good things about you. Don't let me down.
Step up and we'll show up on your home of entertainment, DSTV.
Eno ye Salam TV.
Yeah, welcome back from the short break. We are still on the Alhidaayah show, which we have each and every Thursday of the week at 3 p.m. Always tune into the show or follow us on our YouTube channel, the Salam TV YouTube channel, and look out for Alhidaayah show to see the recordings. We are still talking about back to school, concentrating so much into the line of health. How are you preparing your children health-wise when going back to school? We are with Coach Zaitun. Hajat Zaitun, you talked about having a routine, as if what you said, it's like it's not starting in the days of back to school, but this preparation is something that we are incorporating in the lives of our children throughout, since they come back home, or even the day scholars throughout their life, the routines, the health sleeping routines, the health feeding routines. Now, talking about feeding, what are some foods that a parent can look at, maybe when they are feeding their children at home, or maybe even when they are packing for them? Because there are some schools that take things, but you find a parent taking maybe only fizzy drinks, maybe only this health snacks. What are some of the foods and food values that a parent can look at when preparing their children?
Thank you very much. Parents need to appreciate that our children are usually born with a very good immunity. They are supposed to fight diseases actually better than adults. But unfortunately, there are around 2 things or 3 things that make them sick. Number one is exposing them to germs. That is poor hygiene or lack of sanitation, whereby the children are exposed to viruses, they are exposed to bacteria, and they will get malaria, they will get ringworm, they will get most of those diseases that disturb our children infections.
It's like making me laugh. A certain parent said, "I'm tired of this word infections and allergies in children," and then he was like, "Maybe the hospitals are even lying these days." Whenever you go, they will tell you infections or allergies in children. Those are the 2 diseases for children now.
Yes, and the cause of this, the body, they have the names for the infections, but probably we don't need that knowledge. They will tell you your child has mycosis, and then you will also say that they are lying. But the body, when they check the blood, the blood shows that there is a foreign something, and that is probably the cause of the temperature. It's because of the low appetite. It's the cause of the body weakness, and it is a sign that there are some new animals that have entered into your child. That is why if they know that the infection, they will tell you that your child has malaria, your child has typhoid, your child has whichever infection. But if the infection does not come out clearly to be named, they will just tell you that it is an infection and it is still an unhealthy child. So we have learned to tolerate it. We take it in and then we take, because they treat the infection and the infection goes. So children get sick because of poor hygiene. Number 2, children get sick because of we call them metabolic issues. That is the kitchen, or what the children are feeding on. And it's very unfortunate that the parents that have gone to school do not even care about what they are giving their children. Because what is key is the child should have a balanced diet.
Yeah.
Okay? Children, especially those that are below, for example, 12 years, those who are unable to make themselves a meal, we just feed them. Children need to have a balanced diet. In that diet, we don't want to go into the details, but they need to have the proteins, because the children need a lot of proteins. They are still growing, and proteins are bodybuilding foods. So we see many parents eating the proteins more than their children. You see a father eating more of the chicken than the children. Yet the children need the chicken more than the dad. You have grown already. Anybody above 30 is no longer growing.
They are no longer building.
So the body is not, actually, that is why we have a lot of obesity. You are not growing anymore, you're just bulging. The cells are not multiplying, they are just, ballooning instead of
swelling.
So that is why you have a lot of people getting out of shape. But children, because for them they are still young, many of their organs are not yet there, the brains have not grown, the eyes have not grown, they need a lot of proteins. So, but still, of course, with some regulation, because we still have tendencies of obesity today in our children. We need to help our children appreciate plant-based feeding. Okay, and if it is proteins, they should also be plant-based, because many of the animal-based proteins, again, they have other challenges that they are going to cause us. Our children need to have a lot of carbohydrates as well, because they are going into school. That is why we have posho at school, because it's an energy-giving food. They are in activity. The brains are very active. The body is very active. They are doing sports. They are doing drama, and they need to do a number of up and down activities. So they need a lot of energy-giving foods. Our children need to have vitamins, or this is now the immune-giving foods, and these are fruits and vegetables. But we have a lot of lacking when it comes to vitamins, because most of the fruits and vegetables are not very tasty to some of the children, especially the vegetables. They don't want to eat them. Some of them don't want to eat pineapple. They say it cuts them. Okay,
even
pumpkin. When the melon is not tasty, they don't. So most of the immune boosters that they need so that they can be able to be healthy at school, they don't want to take them, and that is why you will take your child, and because they've changed the environment, in just 3 days, 1 week, they are sick and they are back. So we need to give our foods a little of fats and sugars, just a little. Those who are giving their children appeta, milk, packed milk. Some children are being given a lot of fried things. We need to help our children regulate these things. So the schools today, the sweet drinks. Actually, that will be another point. But we want to reduce the intake of fats. Because many of our children today are getting high blood pressure. They are obese. Their brains are not working as fast as they are supposed to, because there is a lot of fat storage and accumulation in their bodies. So we need to also ensure that we reduce factory and processed products. Today there is a lot, everything that we are giving our children is coming from factory, it is packed, it is, they are fortified, there are so many things that they are putting in, they are preservatives.
Parents don't want to put in a lot of time preparing food.
So when we do this for our children, they are going to get the results of not feeding on proper things. That is why today we have a lot of ulcers amongst young children. A child is in P2, but they have ulcers. A child is in nursery. They have ulcers because they are eating. For example, the poppy things, the air products. We have products that are, I don't want to mention people's brands, but your child is put on a snack. They are snacking on something, but apparently when it goes into the mouth, it just vanishes. So the stomach is expecting.
I've seen that.
Yes, the stomach is expecting something to come, but most of it is saliva. We have a lot of gums. Children chew a lot of gums. They do a lot of sweets. We have gummies. We have cereals. So these are, I don't know how the factories are making them, but they are mostly air. Okay, they are very light, and when the child takes these things, unfortunately we cannot mention any brands, but these are things that children are taking at school. They are trendy,
and they are packing them and also having them for breakfast. You'll find a parent in the morning, he gets a certain juice and a certain quick food, junk food, and gives to the child. The child will go up to break time. Those are like 4
when
hours.
the stomach is empty.
Yeah, when the stomach is empty.
Yes. So the time, the breakfast time, the time when the child is supposed to eat heavily to give the stomach, energy or food that is going to help them go through the day. They are getting light and empty, feedings, and at the end of the day, the digestion or the digestive system is going to be working on an empty engine, and therefore the children are going to work on low energies. The children are not going to get enough nutrition or nutrients to help the organs work in their best way. They are going to they'll be unable to fight disease.
Diabetic.
Okay, and then the diabetes is coming from the too many the sugars. There is a lot of sugars in most of everything that we are giving our children. The biscuits, the cookies, the drinks, the sweets. We don't want to mention any particular, but all parents need to look at what they are giving their children. And on top of that, the child has a sweet drink that will be diluted but still very sweet, and then on top of that they have sugar in the suitcase, and they even, because there is nobody to regulate, so the child even adds more sugar. So at the end of the day, one of the things that sugar does to our children, parents, sugar makes children hyper active. Sugar, because it is glucose is a source of energy. So if we give a lot of sugar things, the children are going to be hyper. They will not be able to listen. They will have very low, tolerance. They will have low patience. Concentration span is very low.
You find them climbing visitors, each and everyone.
That is why today they don't listen to teachers. They are unable to pay attention. They can't keep quiet in a lesson. A child cannot keep quiet for 5 minutes. They are unable to concentrate on one thing for 5 minutes, and that is why today we have a lot of those brain issues of autism. The children are going hyper because of the too many sweets, and some of them are even taken during pregnancy. So the mother is taking a lot of sodas, a lot of sweets, a lot of ice creams, a lot of so the child is born with so much sugar in their body, and therefore they are unable. So what are we looking for in the diet of our children? Please let us ensure that they have regulation on everything. Let us reduce on processed and too cooked and too fried things in their diet, and let us teach our children to drink water, help them to learn to hydrate, because taking water is very important. We are now going into a very sunny school. The first term is very hot, and Ramadan is coming, so we need to help our children. Please pack, if the school does not provide drinking water, instead of giving them those fizzy and the juices that are factory made, it's better to balance them with some water, and we ensure that they take that water. I'm not very certain about the processed milk. I wish, schools would provide milk for the children at least once or twice a week. It will help them, balance. But children need to eat eggs. They need to eat, they need to drink the milk like you've mentioned. Children need to take a lot of fruits and vegetables. And we also need to help them do a lot of exercise. Now, most of the schools today don't have playgrounds. Actually, the schools that had playgrounds they've solved them, or they've built their dormitories and classrooms. And yet, physical exercise is part of health. Very, very primary and fundamental part of a healthy child. I remember when we were in school, and the schools that we went to, the traditional beautiful schools, it was important for every child to go into the field on a daily.
We called it PE.
It used to be PE.
Physical exercise. Today each and every morning.
Every morning you first do some exercises so that you help the muscles and the joints move very well, and you help the blood flow to every part of your body, so that you are a very joyful and very attentive and very good child that is able to learn and memorize and remember. But many schools today just have a lot of pictures and paints, but they are unable to provide for us an area and a routine for our children to do exercise. That is why today we have a lot of docile and obese, and today our children are in a funny shape. I don't know what they're going to become tomorrow. But we need to check.
A lot of diseases in these children. And when you go to the big hospitals, you can wonder when you visit those clinics at how big the number of children in those clinics are. But I believe most of the things maybe could be coming from
the mouth,
lifestyles as parents. Thanks so much. Parents, hope you're following, and I want us to take this area so much important, because we've been despising it. We don't know what our children eat. We don't care about what we pack for our children. Some of them, we give them pocket money and don't even mind about what they buy. A parent gives a child money, and a child buys a sweet during break time. You ask him, what did you buy? I bought a sweet and ice. And that's what he ate
for the whole day.
For the whole day. So parents, be mindful. If you can manage to shop those healthy snacks for your children, save them and buy them other than giving them money, because you don't know what they are going to buy. There are many good snacks. For example, even the dates, Coach Zai. I don't know whether you have any idea.
I know of schools, not so many, I think around 2 schools that I could talk about. They really, really are very careful what they give their children. In the morning, the children are supposed to get a heavy snack. They have a porridge, they have a donut, they have a chapati. They have, of course, it is fried, but it is heavy for the child to start the day with. And at a certain part of between a break, they have a drink. They prepare a drink for the child. Goes and takes a drink. Those who want to take water, they take water. Those who want to take tea, they take tea. And the lunch is truly heavy. The beans are never given plain. They put eggplants. They put the what is biringanya. They put they ensure that the bean soup is really heavy for the child, and so that they can be able to, so that the child really is satisfied. And between the lunch and supper, there is a snack they usually give them. They can get them a fruit. It can be melon, it can be a pawpaw, it can be sugar cane. Maybe sometimes when they get a deal of mangoes, the children get a mango each, which is really, really, when you look at their children, they are really different from the children of other schools that don't really care. And then supper time is, of course, also very special. They ensure that the child gets enough food. And for them, they don't have a canteen. They don't have a canteen at the school. Whatever the child shall eat, it is the school to prepare.
And it's uniform.
Okay? Yes. And maybe on visitation, in case the parents need something special, they are allowed to bring in whatever they want for their children. But the school, it takes care of the meals of the children. And you've talked about money. The canteens are political in schools, because they are income generating projects. So
and they stock what they think the children want, not what they need.
No, they don't
but
give
what they want, so that they can make more sales.
And you know, those factory things have a lot of money. They have calculated profit.
Yeah.
For example, a tin of sweets has, for example, a profit of 3,000. A box of biscuits has a profit of 3,000. So it's easy sell. We have children that are now addicted to sweet things. We have a lot of toothaches.
Remember,
spoiled
since
teeth.
they don't even get satisfied when they eat them, that's why they will buy as many.
They keep
as
buying.
yeah.
They keep wanting to come back to the canteen because the stomach is begging for something more. They are begging for. That is why we even have stealing, a lot of stealing in schools. So the child needs to steal someone's money because his is over, because they need to go and eat.
Okay. Hajat Zaitun, as we are close to the end of the hour, kindly advise those parents who are, because you talked about a lot of health foods that our children need, but then you also told us that some children despise these foods. They don't want to eat. You find a parent in the morning, she is struggling, she has prepared something so nutritious, the child doesn't want. Parents are struggling to give children things they need in their bodies, children don't want. So schools are struggling as well as parents. Give us a structured routine for us to follow as parents and also maybe as schools as we come to the end of the show.
Now, I think we even mentioned it the other time that I don't know when the children started choosing what to eat, what not to eat, because in my home, what is to be eaten it's supposed to be what nobody is even supposed to say no. Okay, if it is silverfish, you don't like it, you eat it. Okay, if it is what else do they want to eat?
If they have issues, because there are some who will tell you, whenever I eat this happens.
No, you know, as a child, of course, they will give you stories and they will want to get, except when it has become clearly medical, that if a child eats a certain thing, they get rashes, they get diarrhea or what. But many parents have left their children the liberty of choosing what to eat. But I believe that if you're very intentional in your kitchen, whatever is brought on the table should be eaten with no discussion. Now, that is my parenting style, because I am thinking for you and I believe that this is what is best for you. And of course, we even have the styles of feeding at home, whereby if you don't eat, the rest shall eat. Okay, if you don't eat, we shall put you actually, for the little ones, if maybe they are satisfied, someone is full and they don't want to eat more, I tell you can put your food there and put it where you're going to find it when you are hungry. And guess what? Usually they even they come back and eat. So I think the other challenge is having so many options.
Yeah,
we are giving our children so many options. So the fridge has a number of things.
We stock we stock a lot of things.
A lot of
factory stock.
Yet we are supposed to create a routine. If we are eating this today, it is what we are eating. So the other is not very accessible. It's not even present. So that if it is pumpkin, matoke, and beans, that is what we are eating. So we don't have spaghetti. We don't have cereals there, and then we don't have bread there. So someone is living matoke. Many children don't like matoke. They don't want pumpkin. They don't want potatoes, and so they have other options, which are very accessible.
So by the time the food comes, they are already full.
They are full, and they even know that if I don't eat this, I shall eat.
So in other words, you're taking us into a routine, or maybe a timetable at home.
So there should be a timetable, if for those who are able, of where we change and exchange a number of
so foods. That you don't even forget, because even you as a parent, there is something you prefer. So when you don't have that timetable, there is a way you're going to find yourself cooking something for many days.
That is for people who are not living with people. But if you're living with people, you should involve. Actually, we even involve our children in what should be eaten, and we need to teach our children the value of food. That when you eat this, it is going to help you with your teeth. When you eat this, it's going to help you with your skin. Those who want hair, if we need to also have some knowledge when it comes. But the other important thing that we need to be the leaders when it comes to who is feeding who, and we need to have knowledge about what we are feeding our children. We need to be involved. Today I'm at the level of I've taught my children to prepare. So sometimes I'm not longer so much in the kitchen, but you need to be involved in helping your children prepare food in the best way.
When you are around.
Yes, you need to be around, and you need to even, to make comments on the food that, you have over-fried this, you have over-made it.
Those health talks, so that they can know that mommy doesn't want to eat this, but it's because of this.
Exactly.
So when you tell them, they are not going to buy it when they are away from you, when they are at school, because they know the reason as to why.
Exactly. And the other thing that is also key, we don't eat all the time.
Yeah.
We have parents who give children, every other time the child is eating something. It is immediately after breakfast. They are giving them cookies.
Yogurt.
Okay? It is
yogurt,
after lunch.
The
child is... I believe that there is time for eating.
So they even have meals between meals.
Meals so it's like the major meals. They don't, you are supposed to eat and let the engine... the digestive system process the food and get the value out of that, so that then we get stool and then we go to chew, okay? Or we go and we excrete. But we have children that are always eating all the time.
And they are used to that.
That is where we are getting...
They are so much affected when they go to some areas, for example, the school.
When they go to the boarding school.
They come back so thin, and yet the food was there. But just because he wasn't used to that routine.
There were times when they were not eating.
A parent will be like, you don't give my child enough food. And yet it is the change of routine.
The routine. And even the times of maybe they're unable to sit and concentrate in the classroom because they are supposed to be eating at that time.
Thinking of something they're missing.
Someone is thinking of what is in the suitcase. No wonder some schools are really regulating these things.
Which is good.
You brought a cake for the child and the child is thinking about the cake. You brought, parents today, some of them are kind of competing even in these things. I brought the brightest things for my child. The brightest, the biggest cake.
Biggest cake.
Yeah, so we need to ensure that what we are giving our children is going to help them go through life, and they can be able to live long.
Okay.
And then we need to also ensure that we reduce the medical bills, because if we don't feed our children right, they are always going to be in hospital. Okay. And hospitals today are not very cheap.
So expensive. They're expensive.
And some things will even need for you to go to even specialists, and that is even more costly. And more annoying. So we need to be very, very intentional. Then lastly, Ramadan is coming. Okay, and we have parents who don't want their children to fast.
Yeah.
Okay. Who believe that their children
because it is going to happen when they are at school. So
it's finding them at school.
No,
so
they see it as a punishment.
Some parents are so loving, in quotes. I know of a parent who was a neighbor. There was this boy, he was I think 19, but he was the last born of this lady, and the mother never wanted the son to
at
fast.
19.
At 19 years.
Mama,
my boy, no. And I used to look at this and I was like, but the boy even got spoiled, by the way.
I can imagine, because
he refused to even
Islam
study.
is telling us to start ordering children to do Islamic obligations at 7, and now you're telling me a boy of 19 who can't even fast.
I saw him he was my neighbor with my eyes. But we want to bring this in as another health aspect. Parents need to help their children appreciate Ramadan or fasting as one of the things that can help them to better their health. And of course, the little ones will fast to a certain degree. We help them, wake up for suhoor, and they are part of the Daawa program, and then they fast. Maybe the young ones can fast maybe up to 10 a.m., up to midday, up to lunchtime, up to 4, and we take them properly, slowly, until when someone is like they want to fast the whole day. We need to help them really appreciate that this is a good practice for our health. It is not a punishment. Fasting is a health. It is a health tool. It was given to us so that we can better our digestive systems, so that we can better our health.
Okay, we're coming to the end of the show. Thanks so much, Hajat Zaitun, for giving us those beautiful insights and also giving us a glimpse into Ramadan, because it's also coming and it's one of the health lifestyles I know, and parents need it so much. Don't think that it's a punishment to your children, but it's even healthy to them. Other than the rewards, there is a way it's helping them, that fasting, their bodies to rejuvenate. Thanks so much for those beautiful insights and for always sharing with us selflessly.
Yes. I don't know if you have a second. It's important for parents to report the health status of their children to schools. Okay, don't hide children. There are parents who do not say that their children have certain health challenges, and then there are parents who do the opposite. They attach certain health challenges on their children because they don't want their children probably to do housework.
The bribing I told you about. They will say this child is asthmatic because they don't want them to wake up early, maybe to sweep, to dust the environment.
So parents, please be very open and be very, say the truth when it comes to your children's health status so that they can be helped at school.
Thanks so much, Hajat. We've come to the end of the show. Thanks so much for always sharing selflessly with us. May Allah reward you abundantly, and to you, the viewers of Salam TV. Thanks so much for always tuning into the Alhidaayah show every Thursday, 3 p.m. And always tune on, because we shall always be bringing you more and more of these insights. Nagola Janat Yahya, your host. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam.
Eno ye Salam TV.
Islamic banking tips ziwagidwa Salam Bank.
We call upon the general public to come and experience Islamic banking. We call upon you all to come and experience Salam Bank.